Hey guys, hey everyone. I'm Laura. I'm the CSR manager at MUD. I think it's just us. Bert, are you there?
Hello.
Hello.
I'm here. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
We are the four of us at the moment. Let's see if we've got more great students coming in this afternoon. Hello, yes.
I don't know, it's August. I guess they're all having fun vacations.
Let's wait a few seconds and otherwise listen.
That's good.
Yeah. Still everybody's there. I don't know how many subscriptions we have, but let's see a few minutes. What time is it now? 2 past. Yeah, let's wait another minute. Anyhow, we can start explaining a little bit already. We normally ask you to explain who you are and what you do. Ask your question. One by one.
Guys, I have really bad, I don't know, Bert, if it's you that has bad connection or if it's
I
me.
also can't hear everything. It sometimes cuts out or sounds funny.
Okay. So basically what he was saying. So what he was saying was just that typically how we do this is that you can introduce yourselves one by one, and as you introduce yourself briefly, tell us who you are, what your research is on, and then you can start off with your first question. You will notice that sometimes people ask different questions, and typically they will end up anyways answering your other general questions as you go along. And we are a small group, so I'm sure you will have more than one round of questions. So
I changed to my hotspot. Can you hear it better now?
A little bit better, yeah.
Not much. Okay. You do.
All right. Let's start with
Change to my mobile.
Devi. Sorry if I mispronounced names. Also, my apologies.
I know that was right. Hi, I'm Devi. I'm doing my master's in sustainability science in Maastricht, and I studied. Why are you so happy about that?
I used to study there. Yeah, go on.
What did you study here?
Public policy and development. I did my master's there. So.
Yeah, I also did my bachelor here, but in international business. Originally I'm from Germany, from not very far from here, from close to Bonn. And now I'm really enjoying my master's in sustainability science. It's a bit more, I like it a lot better than my bachelor. And now in my research on circularity, so I'm aiming to consolidate frameworks from the existing literature with experiences of companies that are already advanced in the implementation of circular business models. But I'm also trying to be critical on these business models because, in my opinion, often they are quite theoretical. So I'm trying to overcome that a bit. And I'm also planning to do consumer surveys and to align business on consumer perspectives in order to create a more holistic view on what is needed to transition to a circular economy in the apparel industry.
Cool. And what is your question, your first one?
Okay, my first question is, who is your target customer? So do you target more customers that are already very conscious of the problems that come along with a linear apparel industry and are more sustainable, or are you trying to target really everyone that you can reach?
Well, Bert, go ahead.
I have a slide that I can explain maybe a little bit. We started off, of course, there's a difference when you start your company and when you are already somewhere on the way. But we call our customers the hang on, I get my slide. I'm doing two things at a time. The cultural creative. And if you look at Motivaction, you can find who those people are. Actually, we created ourselves. So they're searching for meaning. They're informed, yeah. They're mostly when.
Sorry, I can't hear you very well, unfortunately.
Okay, sorry about that. I'll put this off. Let me check if I can do it with my normal sound.
Bert, while you do that, I will bring out the slide that you're talking about. So give me a second, guys.
Better? Can you hear me better now?
Yeah,
a bit, I think.
yeah, a little bit.
Okay, I'll try it without the headphones then.
Oh yeah, this is a lot better.
Okay, good. Well then, these are worthless. I can throw those away. So we call our customers the cultural creative. I can share my screen. Maybe that's interesting for you. Here you go. So we started with Motivaction, with the liberal intellectuals and those kind of things, and we found out 10 years ago that it was about 12% of the population in Germany. And in the meantime, we've evolved and learned more about the people that we think we should target. Of course, we started off with the early adapters, and then you try to go to take more market share. But these are the people we're looking for. So our marketing manager, Danique, has done a very thorough research on our Facebook likers. So that she's been really through all their how do you call it, the views and everything, and we've come up with this. So they're well informed, they care about sustainability and climate, they're connected to nature, they're critical citizens mostly. You know, they have a healthy and active lifestyle. So people like yoga, for instance, they try to be vegan mostly. We hear that from our customers, but they also like to travel. So, you know, and they're also looking into new experiences. So the leasing plan that we started was really something for them interesting, because it's another way of thinking. And it was at the time when the sharing economy was hot and we were talking about Airbnb coming up, these kind of things. We don't put an age here because many people ask us what kind of age group. We always say it can be everybody. You know, we have children from our customers, children saying, I get €10 a month, I want to spend that on my leasing my mud jeans. And we also have people calling us 78 years old, say, I want to buy 3 of your jeans because I think your story is fantastic. But mostly it's between 30 and 40, I would say. So does that answer your question?
Yes, thanks a lot. I don't know how much room there is here for follow-up questions.
Well,
but
let's first go to Julia, and then we'll get back to you, David.
Thank you.
Sorry, Yassi, it's the ladies first.
Hi, so my name is Julia. I'm a master student too. I'm studying in Düsseldorf, Germany, in market communication and multimedia management. And my thesis will be about sustainability as a challenge for apparel companies.
Yeah.
And it's not about consumer. It will be about deeper insight in the supply chain management and how to integrate sustainability in there. And my first question is like a little bit broader, is about what challenges do you currently see in the apparel industry, like regarding fast fashion?
The challenges. There's so many challenges. Where do you want me to start, Julia? I think Laura can group them better than I do. But it comes from all corners. Today, what I think I would say is the challenge is that suddenly a lot of companies understand that they have to say something about sustainability because customers are asking questions, and then they sort of ungrounded and but you're better in this, Laura. Tell stories that are not correct. So that's why we.
No, not at all, Bert. I think But like focusing on maybe your topic area, Julia, I think the biggest challenge, especially for the larger brands, is to have an overview of their supply chain. It's very, very difficult to know, exactly where all of your raw materials are coming from, who's making what, is it being, produced by a second, third party supplier. Having that overview is extremely, extremely tricky. And that's why at Mudgeons we have such a short supply chain for exactly that purpose of control over our product, to know exactly what goes into our jeans, not theorizing or assuming, but really actually knowing and having all of the certificates and having the direct connection with all of our suppliers. So for companies that really want to become transparent and have that concept of traceability, for example, which are sort of the big words right now in the world of sustainability, having that full overview is very, very tricky.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Jesse?
Yeah, hello. Yes, I'm a master student here in Amsterdam at the UvA, and I'm a research intern for the Next Law project, which is a project that aims to see how the law facilitates or is an obstacle to non-extractive economic practices. So mainly sustainable in terms of the environment or in terms of social costs. And we're trying to locate initiatives that are doing well in terms of sustainability and asking them how the law is functioning as a tool for them in their organizations. And my first question, as that is concerned, is well, let me start with a little bit more of a general question then. Is that why do you think that you are among the few companies that offers the leasing of clothing? Are there legal reasons? Are there legal difficulties in the process of offering that? And I have a more specific question on that as well, but just for you to expand on it in the first round. Is it legally difficult to make sure that everything works fine and that you don't run into trouble if you want to lease products like clothes? So that was my first question.
Yeah, I think so. Actually, what we are doing is sort of illegal. So we shouldn't be able to do this, but we just do it. And the other thing is that accountant-wise, we are a little bit too early because there are no rules yet. People, for instance, the leasing of jeans, how do I account that for in my books? Are we still the owner, or is it yours? So it's all sort of vague. We just started this, and we try to do as good as we can. But our accountant has difficulty with it because there are no real rules for it. So, yeah, what can I say? It's just maybe we're a little bit too early, but that's not the reason I would say that people are not doing it. I think the other reason is that it's very difficult. You have a lot of small amounts of money coming in, which you then have to connect in your bookkeeping and make sure that I paid one monthly fee and my account has to be correct. So I have to connect them. It sounds all very easy, but in practice, it's very complicated. When we started 10 years ago, we had the first 1,000 leasers. At the end of the year, we had like 500 people paying something per month. And we knew that we still needed so much money to get in, and it was sort of the same. So we put them together. We said, okay, let's see next year if we can do better. But it took us 6 or 7 years to really have the IT program really connecting all that, and because it's not a subscription, it's a payment over 12 months. And in the beginning, we even had it more difficult, but now we have simplified it. And yeah, that's what it is. So legally, there's actually I can give you that. Maybe there's a research from KPMG saying that what we are doing is not totally correct, and also the word leasing is not correct. I know, but it sounds so nice, lease a jeans. So the whole press picked it up, so we were happy with that. But you should get that research from them. I should have it somewhere. Laura, do you think? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, but I'm sure if you plug in KPMG, what was the title, Bert? Do you remember the title of the report?
No, but I should be able to find it somewhere in my.
Yeah, I also have it somewhere, but I think it was in Dutch.
Yeah. But Jess is very good in Dutch. So. So.
Yeah, so that's why I don't know the title, but
And they compared everything, leasing and rental of clothing, and and they sort of tried to find out if there were already rules. And actually, they answer a lot of your questions, I think.
yeah, there's also another angle to the legal question. I mean, we are very lucky because we actually collect our old jeans and send it into Spain. And then they shred it and recycle it and turn it into yarn and then yarn into fabric, etc. But for example, I have seen other companies that are trying to do the same in Turkey. And there legally becomes quite complex, and they're trying to change this because we're part of this group called the Denim Deal, which is with a lot of parties, brands, recyclers, sorters, and manufacturers. And what they're trying to do is work with the European Commission and the Turkish legal institutes to change a little bit the law there, because they are having difficulties bringing in used products into Turkey for recycling. And those jeans, so for recycling to make a pair of jeans, and the jeans that are made need to be exported back out. They cannot be sold in Turkey. So those are sort of like the small legal obstacles that certain brands are facing. We don't have that yet because we don't work that much with Turkey yet. So, but those are just sort of the softer discussions that I've heard from a legal perspective.
Well, it's also because Turkey is a cotton producer, so they're not interested in promoting the recycling of old cotton. So it's a sort of we are doing is troubling the market, making Amsterdam a cotton supplier. Let's go to the next. We are at Davy again.
I just
We have 50
just a quick
students, so you're very lucky today.
yeah, 3 is not so much. I expected a lot more people here. But just a quick follow-up question. Why are you saying your business model is sort of illegal? Just because of the wording leasing, or?
Yeah, because the way we, it's not very clear. The jeans are leased to you. Do I have to account for them in my books as being still ownership of us?
Yeah.
Or did I sell them to you and are you the owner and you just have to pay me a monthly fee? It's sort of unclear. That, and also the jeans coming back from you, if you send back an old pair of jeans, we give you a discount for. At the moment, we don't give that any value in our system. Although some of them we replaced, the best way of recycling is of course reusing the old jeans for pairs. So repair them, wash them, and then use them as vintage. We do that also. So what's the buying price of that pair of jeans that I resell? And what, how much VAT should I calculate for that? Because I'm thinking that's interesting for the law. If I use 40% old jeans in my new pair of jeans, for which on the old pair of jeans already VAT has been paid, then I think I should give you a discount on the VAT, which is legally not possible. So I have to pay again, or you as a customer have to pay again the full VAT. So there also there's something incorrect, I think. So it's all open questions still. Nobody is against it, but the governments are not ready for this. Although at the moment, I think the French government is taking good measures at the moment for extended producer responsibility, making sure that producers are responsible for the product they put into the market and then what happens with it at the end of the life cycle. So things are changing, but it's going very slowly. Do you have anything to add to that, Laura?
No, I think you hit the nail on the head.
Do I still have another question, or should I wait till next round?
It's your lucky day.
So I wanted to ask which barriers to implementation, or which main barriers, obviously, to implementation of your business model did you experience, and how did you overcome these main barriers?
Well, first of all, there's of course finance. If I lease a pair of jeans to you, or if I even go back to the basics of a jeans company, you want to buy, I mean, if I look at it economically, you want to buy as cheap as you can and sell as expensive as you can and get the biggest margin and make less cost. And what we are doing is we don't buy so cheap because we want to pay everybody in the chain a good salary. We want to use proper materials, and that goes from the cotton to the dye stuff and to the way we treat the jeans without chemicals and or better chemicals, or the water use, everything. You can talk about energy, the whole thing. So everything gets, if you do it better, it gets more expensive. So the buying price of our jeans is way higher than our competitors. We cannot sell much more higher, so that means the margin is less good. That means it leaves us with less margin for budget for marketing. So it's difficult to reach you as a customer. We have to have somebody like a CSR manager in our company, I think, which most companies don't even have. I just talked to the CSR manager from Levi's. He just started now. They are just starting a CSR department. Can you imagine? So
Yeah,
we're not
great.
spending money on that. So all that together means that we're doing something close to impossible. So, and then financing is also difficult because if I buy the jeans to the Tunisian factory, I have to pay for it as soon as possible, so within 1 or 2 weeks. But if you as a leaser get your jeans, you just pay in 12 times a year long. So the liquidity of our company is also a problem because the money is going out very quickly, but it's not coming in so quickly. So the faster we grow, which we do now, the more difficult it gets. And that's the same for shops. You know, shopkeepers, they buy for let's say 1/3 of the price. We have to deliver them. They pay 2 months, 3 months later sometimes. So there's a gap. But that's part of our business, but it makes it hard. Is that what you expected to hear?
Yeah. Yeah, thanks a lot for your answer.
Okay. Julia.
Yeah, while we were already talking about production, in your opinion, which stage of manufacturing or production is the least sustainable in regular jeans production, and why?
Okay, there's been Laura can add on this, but I can start. There's been a lot of research also lately there's a good report from ABN, where they looked at the human factor, for instance, but is that what you meant, or the more chemical production wise? But on both it goes very
Well, basically both, yeah.
On the human factor, what came out of that report from ABN is that they found out that in the spinning mills in India, which we don't use because we do everything in Spain, but there people were treated the worst. It was horrible. They found out. It's not my words. They found out. So if you want to pinpoint something, but if you go to the cotton fields, you know, when it starts, it also goes wrong, and people spray unprotected pesticides and insecticides on it. So everything goes wrong. And on the chemical side, we did as well. There's now a better indigo, for instance, the dye stuff. We use now the one from DyeStar, which is non-toxic and biodegradable, Laura?
Yeah, it's cradle to cradle certified, so it's also, yeah, circular.
So for everything, there's now a solution, but you have to use it as a company, and it will be more expensive. So where would be the worst for making? Yeah, how they treat people in the factories in Bangladesh, for instance, making jeans. I mean, we were in our factory in March. It was very difficult to get to Indonesia, but we were there. And I've been now for 40 years in the textile industry. It's the first time I saw a factory where the workers work from, okay, they start at 7 o'clock in the morning, but at 4 o'clock, everybody leaves the factory. They clock out and they go to their homes and have a family and they have a life. And I've never seen that in my life. Every factory, jeans factory I've seen in China, in Bangladesh, in anywhere, people working until midnight making jeans, overworking because customers are pressing them. They did a promotion, they gave the information too late, so production has to go out. Yeah, so pressure's everywhere in the jeans industry. There's no real specific. Laura, I see on your face that you have to add something to it.
Yeah, from a more environmental perspective, we have seen also from our own LCA or life cycle analysis that a large percentage of the impact comes from our raw material, and it depends what you're measuring, whether it's water consumption, CO2, biodiversity, there's different variables that you can use. But for example, and if you're curious to actually read about this in greater detail, we just published a life cycle assessment, the 2020 version one. I can put it in the chat after I reply. And also our newest sustainability report also has some really nice numbers on that. But basically from a water perspective, the most harmful is conventional cotton. And that's because organic conventional cotton is just one of the thirstiest commodities in the industry, just requires a lot of water to grow. And then again, dyeing the yarns just requires a lot of water too. And then you have, from a manufacturing perspective, there, what really is highly polluting is the chemicals that are used in an industry standard scenario. You're using highly toxic chemicals that, again, not only harm the people that have to interact with them, but then are actually just directly released into the waterways and further harming the biodiversity surrounding those factories. So yeah, but what we have seen in our production, we use organic cotton, recycled cotton, we use dye-star dye. We stay away from any chloride, PP spray, or any of the nasty production mechanisms such as sandblasting or any of those things. And even then we can still see that the use of organic cotton has a significant impact, and so does still some of the manufacturing processes, more in the dyeing. But what's great is that we have seen a really, really good improvement in, for example, the use of renewable energy sources and things like that. So, but again, it's different analyzing where still our impact is while we are making jeans that consume 93% less water and 74% less CO2 to an industry standard pair of jeans, right? Those are different quantities of impact. But yeah, I think those are the two big exclamation marks would be the cotton and the dyeing process.
Okay, great. That answers my question. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Any more questions?
Oh, for sure, for sure. So, yeah, so where to start? So I guess taking from your previous answer, the most important legal question is about ownership and about, do you have to own the jeans that you have leased already and say that they're your assets and that you have to report them, or are they owned by the customers? And I was wondering, because in the general terms and conditions you mentioned that it is about koop met levering onder eigendomsvoorbehoud, which implies that if the customer has fulfilled his or her duty, then he or she is the owner of the jeans, right? But at the same time, the goal is to keep the jeans within your own circle. So I was wondering, why did you choose for that specific legal framework to do it? Why not, for example, rent? Or yeah, that was what I was wondering.
Because when you talk about renting, people often think that they can rent a pair of jeans for a weekend or for 2 weeks. We get those questions a lot, and we would love to fulfill that, but it's practically impossible, because then you get a lot of shipping back and forth. And as from the start, we didn't believe in that formula. So we did think about maybe 6 months or 12 months or 24 months, because people also say, I can wear my jeans for 10 years, and then, which is true. And our quality jeans also last longer than 1 year, unless you wear them every day and you are working in the building industry. But normally our jeans last longer than 1 year. So that's why we choose for this option, because it's sort of an in-between, you know, we want to have this idea of and make people think of a different way of consuming things. Or do you need to be the owner, or is the performance of a product good enough? That was the main idea. And this is a little bit the translation, the practical translation of it. But I must agree with you, it's not 100%.
Yeah, and because it does not 100% fit, have there been any conflicts? For example, I could imagine that if someone doesn't want to return the jeans and you want to get them back, then legally you're not having a case.
Yeah, true. But if
but
you
it
want
has not happened because of the cultural creative people.
That's also true, but we are also, like, you know, since we don't account for them in our books, there's not a problem for us. If you keep your jeans for 10 years, it's fine. If you bring them back, you get a discount. So we make it practical.
Yeah.
If we would have not have done that, it would have been impossible. And we just wanted to start this movement. It's more like a movement. And although maybe legally and financially and everything, it's maybe not super correct, but the ideas of our company, when we started, our mission was to say, okay, we want to change the fashion industry. We want to grow ourselves because otherwise we don't make any impact. We want to explain, that's why we are doing this also to consumers and to people. Hey, we have to think of fashion in a different way. If we are not changing the way we think of fashion, then there's no future, I think. So that's why we have seasonless collections. That's why we make high quality jeans. We prefer you to buy once a good pair of jeans that lasts very long, instead of 10 pair of jeans that are very cheap and will not last that long and are made in a way that nobody can be proud of.
Yeah.
So
if I could just follow up on that, because I totally get that. However, on the same side, I guess this uncertainty also brings about risks. And I was wondering, for example, investors or shareholders of your company, do they feel held back because of, in this sense, then legally you're not on the right foot?
Yes, in the beginning, absolutely. And we were lucky to be able to support ourselves with the money we had privately. So we did make it the first 3-4 years building on our own money. But then, it's true. When you come to the first million turnover or the second million, you get investors on board because you need this to grow. You need growth capital, and then you get this kind of questions, which we could explain and said, okay, we've done this now for 5 years. It does work. People get the meaning. Like you're right. The first questions when we come to banks, the first thing they ask is, how do you secure your at the time was 750 monthly payment? That's really a banker's question. How do I know if I deliver you the pair of jeans that you will pay me monthly the 750? I don't know. That's a risk we're taking. So my answer was always, I will go to every doorstep with a shotgun. And then the discussion was broken because they said, okay, I understand what you're meaning. If you build a company on mistrust like this, the BCorps, then you can't do it. Yeah,
but I guess for similar entities who are maybe thinking about starting this and who don't have starting capital to go with, then this might be impossible to get investors or shareholders to join.
Absolutely impossible, 100%. Okay. And also the banks are still, and luckily we are also there in the financial world. Things are changing now, but 10 years ago we did not tick one of the boxes. You know, when a bank has to give you a credit line, they have all these questions, and even all the salespeople would wanted to work with us. They all said, you know, I'm not even going to present this case to our how do you call it? The guys that approve the concept. Yeah. It's not going to work. Although within the bank, people wanted to support us, and there's a lot of money. And now it's changed because now banks also have, they call like a green button, where they say, okay, even if you don't tick all the boxes, we still want to go forward and want to support the circular economy, and we go for it. So there's things changing there also. Okay. Okay, I don't want to get into Davy's time, so. Davy, let's all do one more question and then call it a day. Is that okay for you?
Yes, that's fine.
And then I have a question for you after that.
Okay, so my last question then is, what hinders consumers from buying yeah, from your products or from using your leasing services? Is it a lack of awareness or pricing, or
Sorry?
why wouldn't everyone buy from you? Is it a lack of awareness, or is it pricing, or what hinders consumers from, yeah?
This was my question for you, actually. I was hoping to see three smart people to give me the golden tip to go with this. Now, it has to do with everything. I mean, your website has to be, you're dealing with the big genius industry, where there are big marketing budgets, where everything is super, where productions are fantastic. So if you take our website, for instance, it has to be fast. It has to be, you have to easily go through the flow until you get into the box. The photography, product photography has to be perfect. You as a consumer, you want to see, how does my ass look? What height is the model? How much stretch is there in it? So, and we also, we want to recycle material. So it's not always, the choice in materials for us is smaller than our competitors, because we have 5 sorts of materials that we've invented and that we are making now, and they are top class materials, but we cannot go much wider. For us, it's very difficult to make, for instance, white jeans. We're going to do it next year because we found somebody who's recycling bed linen, but it's a little bit outside for us, but we know that you have to, so we give ourselves a lot of boundaries. The photography has to be fantastic. You have to make ads, ads spent on Google or on Facebook. Think about it. It's very, very complicated. And again, we are in this big world of jeans where we have to, you as a consumer, you look also at G-Star and Levi's and I don't know what. So did you buy a pair of jeans? And
Yes.
if no, why not?
If I have a pair of mud jeans?
Yeah. Those are the best. I love you, Davey. So how did I reach you? Why did you decide to buy a pair of mud jeans?
I mean, I did a lot of research now in the industry, so it was hard to get around mud jeans.
And are you happy with the fit?
Yeah. I had to send it back though once because it was too long. But yeah, now it fits very well.
And are you happy with the way, did you buy it online or from a store?
Online.
And are you happy with the way the flow of the website goes and the explanation because we invested a lot of money in that.
Yeah.
We are very eager to hear critics also.
No, I think the ordering process and everything worked very well for me. Just I just didn't really understand why you send 2 packages for the jeans that you ship and for the one to return. Why can't I send my old jeans back in the box that I received my new jeans in? Isn't it like waste of 1 box and of shipping costs for you?
It is. Normally we don't do this. This is strange, actually.
Huh.
You
Okay.
received 2 boxes? Did you receive 2 boxes?
I received 2 boxes. Yeah, one with my jeans and one empty one.
Oh, thank you for that.
Yeah, thanks for telling us.
This is very interesting. Huh? I'm surprised. I have to check this tomorrow morning. So did you receive 2 boxes beside each other? Huh?
Yeah, and actually I used the box that I received my the jeans I ordered in. I used that one to send it back because the other one was like an envelope package, and it was so small that I don't know if I don't think I could have fitted the jeans in it.
Oh, you mean when you open the box, the jeans are in sort of this other box?
No. Like there was one like carton box where the mud jeans came in, and then there was a separate envelope. It was like a bigger envelope, but it was really just an envelope. It wasn't a carton box, and that one would have been quite small to, I don't know, maybe I could have squeezed it in, but it was really small for a pair of jeans. So I used the carton box
that's normal.
to send back my old jeans.
When did you order these jeans?
Like 3 weeks ago or something.
Okay. And do you still have, can you send me a picture of what you received?
Oh,
Or did you throw it away? That doesn't matter. I'm just very curious. No.
I think it might be in the basement. I'll look for it. I'll look for it.
It would make my day if you could send me a picture, because I there's something going wrong there. So I don't know. Thank you for this.
Yeah.
Let's go to Julia. Sorry.
Thanks
Julia,
for the answer to my question.
you're welcome.
Cool.
Okay, so my last question. Sorry.
Hast du noch eine Frage, Julia?
Yeah, sure. My last question. What would you recommend to companies that are not yet sustainable, but they want to become so, like first steps, yeah, something like that?
Yeah, Laura knows my answer here. I would say no, it's a good thing. We are a B Corp. We are a proud B Corp. And thanks to Laura, we are top of the world now. We're best for the world in environment. I would say take the B Corp assessment, sorry, and go through that with your company and see where you already can make steps. It's a big learning, even for us. We all those questions we get, we think, oh, well, not now, but 6 years ago we were going like, okay, we didn't think of that yet. We can do this. So I would say the B Corp assessment is a good one to start. Just have a look. Even if you cannot become a B Corp immediately, you can take the first steps and grow from there. I would say start somewhere with your company. Try to make it fun. Try to make it interesting for everybody in your company, and try to make it like put yourselves milestones. Say, okay, this year we want to reach this, and we want to do this, and see in the end if you can make it, and then take it step by step. I would say. Laura, anything to add?
Yeah, no, I think that's great advice, Bert, because it's true. The whole sustainability thing feels like this huge elephant that you kind of have to tackle and you don't know where to start. And it's true, as Bert was saying, that the B Corp assessment gives you great guidance in terms of breaking down the different categories and understanding where you can do better and identifying things that you didn't think of. So I think, yeah, that's a great way to go forward. I also always say to have transparency of your supply chain. I think that's super important, kind of a very first step towards understanding where your things are coming from, what's going into your product, who's making it, who's behind that product, those materials, etc. And sort of breaking that down and having that overview gives you a really strong sort of initial baseline towards the rest of your work.
Yep, correct.
Yeah.
Does that answer your question, Julia?
Yes, thank you so much.
Good. Jesse.
Yeah, so my final question.
I first have to ask Julia.
Oh.
Are you wearing, did I reach you as a customer, Julia? Are you wearing mud jeans?
Oh, I'm wearing joggers, to be honest. But there was a good point Debbie made that you're able to return even if you want to lease, because that was like the information missing for me. That when I decide to lease the jeans, that I can return it if it doesn't fit.
Is that not clear on the site? So we have to improve that.
I don't know, like I started with picking a jeans and then it wasn't like clear at the beginning. And after like some research on the site, I was like, okay, I can return it if it doesn't fit and I can choose another one. But at the beginning, it wasn't clear. So it's like you need a lot of time and research to get it.
Okay, so that's not very clear then. We have to improve that, Laura.
Yeah.
So people that want to lease, that it's similar as buying, that you can.
Yeah, cool.
Thank you, Julia. This is market research we're doing now. Okay, Jessica, go ahead.
Yeah, so my final question is on, you mentioned in the sustainability report also that your goal is to be 100% sustainable. But I was wondering, one of the things that we see in the project is that companies that are limited liability companies that have shareholders, they also are obliged to maximize profits. And there can be the changes in the decision-making process or in the board that are not so great for sustainability, but are meant to improve the profits. So I was wondering, have you experienced any tensions between the goals of one hand being a big profitable company, and on the other hand being a sustainable company? Has there been tensions in that respect?
No, that's one of the reasons also that we are B Corp. You have to write down in your statutes of the company that you are a limited company, but and that you want to make money, but not at all cost, not with harming people or environment. So that's blocked into our the founding of the company. And then if you talk about shareholders, we could wait very long. We've held on ourselves for quite some years by being very very careful with the money and making this company grow. And then the moment we got shareholders, we had a lot of people talking to us. And as soon as you feel like when the first question is, okay, what will be my exit in 5 years' time, then we are out. You know, we're not interested in those kind of investors. So we were lucky to have time to wait for the perfect investor, which are Stichting Doen, maybe you heard of them, and PDNH, the Participatiefonds Duurzame Economie Noord-Holland. They teamed up together because none of them wanted to do it alone. And they are there to push. They want our company to succeed. Their first mission is to succeed. They ask us every quarter reportings about CO2 emission, water usage, those kind of things. Of course, the money has to be correct. We also have to give the figures, and we have to show that we are not burning money like crazy. But if there's a half year that we are still in loss, which happened last half year, we were hoping of being better, but we still had a small loss. There's no panic. You know, they want us to move forward, and of course they control us and they look at us. They're a minor shareholder, and there's been no tension. There's only advice. They would say like, okay, they both of them put 2 or 3 people on our account, and they're there to advise, to say, okay, did you think of this? What happened here? How did you come through COVID? When last year, 15th of March, COVID started, they called us and they said, okay, guys, this is a horrible situation. Can we help you? Do you have enough money? That's the kind of shareholder we have. So we're quite lucky. And but then again, they also say, we want you to be careful with the money. We want to have it one day back. If you grow good enough, you make profit, so that we can help other companies with this same money.
Yeah.
So it's not free of charge money. It's serious business.
Yeah, but at the same time, the goal of sustainability is already is exactly why you got this investor. Yeah, so that's great. So then those goals line up. Yeah, and if the report that you mentioned earlier, if you could send it to me, that would be great.
Yeah, I just put it in the.
Oh, because okay.
Well done, Laura. Is that the one from KPMG?
Oh, sorry, no, that's not the KPMG. I thought the sustainability one.
Yeah, I found them all.
One is the ABN report, the genes. Send me an email. I will also look at it.
Okay, I will ask.
And the KPMG one, I have it somewhere in my computer.
Okay, I will send you an email then. That's great. Thank you very much.
And you? Did I read you as a customer?
Well, as you can tell, I'm not a fashion expert.
You're wearing
Fashion.
Have to be.
Maybe I'm a creative, cultural, or creative, but I don't know. No, it's you have to. It didn't seem to occur to me yet to do it, and it's. I think my main reason for not doing it is having to lease clothing is something that it's how would you say? It feels like bothersome to have to pay every month instead of paying at once.
You can also buy a pair of jeans.
Okay, and that I didn't know. So because when you enter the website, it's okay, lease the jeans, right? It's the first thing that comes up. So yeah.
And do you live in Amsterdam?
Yeah.
Okay, go to the Torensteeg and try our jeans on.
Okay.
I'll give you the discount code.
That's great.
It's walk the talk. Sorry, Davy. If you use it when you check out, walk the talk in one word.
Walk the talk?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll put it in the chat.
Yeah.
What about it?
Then you get 20% discount on our site.
Ah, nice.
That's great. Good to know. I won't mention it in my report.
Don't mention it in your report.
No, okay. Thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome. Have a great day. Thank you, Laura.
One quick thing. Could I send you an interview consent form after this? for the university requires for all interviews that I do, that I have that. Okay.
We've also been recording this. I think you can get the recording.
Yeah.
Right, Dora?
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, absolutely, you can send that.
That would be perfect.
We had some
Yes.
interns from Maastricht also. I think Janne came from Maastricht, Laura. Janne, and we had 4 or 5 interns from Maastricht during our.
Yeah, that was before my time, Jan.
They were the best, Laura.
We are the best, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Super.
Thanks so much for your time.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Take care.
Thanks. Bye bye.